Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Taurus, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Taurus, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for February 17th to the 23rd. This week we have the Akasha Oracle card with the Page of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Energy of Death. We have the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So yeah, I mean, you're definitely leaving behind something, Taurus, in your recent past that may have in some way, stolen your energy, undermined you. There's levels to that Seven of Swords for sure. But, the shift that you've made through letting that go, or maybe some of you are about to let that go, is definitely shifting the scales. It's bringing you back into balance. And I'm definitely seeing some kind of connection coming in, an offer of passion. It doesn't have to be limited to romantic space. It can be passionate offer in the workplace as well. And you're just going to be proceeding with much more of a greater sense of self-confidence and clarity, and really getting back your sense of enthusiasm for life again. So before we go to the tarot, guys, I'm just going to read out the Oracle card, Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. Akasha exists in the fifth dimension and the library of souls. All soul contracts, history, gifts, lessons, and more exist here. We each have access to this information of the past, present, and future, and can tap into it at any time. While we have free will, there are also points on the timeline of our lives that are predestined or pre-planned, soul contracts or agreements that were made before incarnating. It could be a company you choose to work for, a relationship you plan to have, or a person you agreed to mentor or help. Whatever it is, know that it is divinely guided and will not bypass you. If you are waiting for a sign to proceed, this card is it. You are likely living out an important part of your soul's journey, and you're exactly where you need to be. This is very exciting indeed. Well, Taurus, that is pretty cool. I think maybe that you possibly are ending one karmic cycle here, and potentially there is an element of divine timing for the person that I can see coming in for you later on. So recent past here, we have the Energy of Death and the Seven of Swords. So this could have been a karmic situation that is coming to an end. Now, some of you may have already ended it or initiated that ending, or some of you might still be on the threshold of that now. Well, this reading is definitely giving you the green light for that if you haven't already made those moves. Now, a Seven of Swords energy, as I mentioned before, can be, well, there's lots of different levels to it, right? So it could be a situation that's just making you feel, mentally unsteady, or, affecting your self-esteem, your mental energy, your intellect, that kind of thing. It can also be a betrayal, and that could be in the workplace, could be, a third-party situation in romance. It can be a deception, dealing with somebody who showed you two different faces, who lied to you, who kept things from you. All of those kind of things. People that undermine you, undermine your skills, people that steal your thunder and never allow you to shine. It's that kind of energy. Potentially, maybe it was a karmic contract. You had something to learn from that situation. But it's time to move on from that now. You've got whatever learning you were required to from that situation, and the idea is that we don't stay bound to those energetically for too long, once that lesson has been learned, because that's when we kind of actually can become damaged from that, or get stuck or stagnate. So we have the Energy of Death here. Death comes in when a situation needs to be released, when a situation needs to, perish or come to pass. Now, there's nothing more certain in life than that cycle of death and rebirth. I mean, how do we get to, passionate new rebirth if we don't first clear the space to cut the energetic cords from something that's already occupying space in our lives? Death comes in to clear the slate for you, to give you that space for other opportunities to come in. So we must surrender to the death energy and embrace it. Be like the child here who just looks it directly in the eye and goes, yep, okay, yeah, I know it's time, and it's time to release this situation, because he's a little bit naive about the fact that sometimes when we release and let go, there is a certain amount of pain associated with that, whereas the adult here is sort of feigning away from death, because she's probably been through this a few times and knows that, with any release, even if we know it wasn't good for us, even if it hurt us, change is hard, right? And change can be, it's scary. Sometimes we stay in a situation that's not right for us just because of the fear of the change, fear of the unknown. But there's no way to get to the greater good without going through this. It's an inevitable cycle. And if not now, then 6 months, a year down the track, and we've wasted time. Because there is the promise of a beautiful new dawn, a new day on that horizon that's really ready to eclipse for you. Look at all the blue skies we see in the cards to come. And there is real growth and alchemical transformation on offer with the Death card. I mean, Death card is the card of transformation. So some of you are going through a really big shift at the moment. And I think that shift is really bringing you back into a place of balance. So the Six of Pentacles, it shows, the Emperor here, young Emperor, and these two beggars here. Possibly in your past situation, you might have felt a little bit like these guys here, having to kind of to beg for resources, for the attention that you deserved in a relationship, for the promotions, whatever it is. It was very out of balance. Maybe you felt like things were literally being kept from you, taken from you, and that's a very out of balance situation. Really what we want to achieve is a place where we can give and receive and be in that natural flow effortlessly, because these are the scales of life here, and that universal balance sheet always needs to add up. So if you have had a situation of burning off some karma, or what you felt was worse karma than you would like, these scales always come into balance, and your time is coming. I can see that. So I really feel like you're getting back into a place where you're ready to receive again, ready to receive. And when you're ready to receive and you're coming from a place of balanced energy, that's when you're actually going to attract those that can actually give it to you. And obviously you're going to be in that equal energy exchange. So that's the Six of Pentacles, coming back into a place of much more abundance as well. And I'm definitely feeling it's more of abundance on a in an emotional or love kind of level. Right, the next three cards, guys. We have a tarot couple here with the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. And we have the Page of Wands, right? So usually when, a tarot couple, the court cards appears in a spread, it can be some kind of soul connection. So, this could be somebody coming in for you in a love sense. Because we're dealing with swords here too, it could be the, perfect, business partner, someone to collaborate with, or a new person starting at work that you have a great connection with. It's not limited to love, but I really want to put this guy in the mix here, because the Page of Wands is a messenger of passion. The Page of Wands, is somebody who is rediscovering their sense of enthusiasm and energy for life again, who is ready to give and receive passion. He can be the messenger of passion. And the Knight of Swords also is somebody who can kind of come out of nowhere, right? So somebody could come out of nowhere this week with a passionate offer, be it in romance or business. Somebody that kind of, charges on in and isn't really afraid to communicate that to you, because the Knight of Swords is also a card of communication. Now, the Page of Swords, talks about somebody who may have felt like they were a bit in the desert, maybe a little bit in the space in between. That's how we can definitely feel after the Death card, when that slate is cleared. But it won't be for long, Taurus, because this Knight of Swords is ready to charge on into that space, because the space is open for it. So, it could be quite passionate, somebody that you feel quite sexually attracted to, or if this is not a romantic situation for you, you can still have that professional chemistry with somebody when everything just clicks into place. And with the Queen of Swords in the reading here, I think that you're going to have that clarity to be able to discern, whether this person is a good fit for you. She is very much, all-seeing. She is clear. She knows how to communicate her position as well. So I think that's going to be a very open communication. You're both going to be able to literally put your cards on the table and see what you want. And, the Queen of Swords is about transformation as well. You've definitely been, I know this is not earth energy, guys, but I am sort of seeing this as your energy after coming out of the Death card. Somebody who has transformed for the better, because now they are seeing clearly, whereas in the past maybe you didn't want to see certain parts of a certain situation. The Queen of Swords is about, having strong boundaries, about being victorious, about seeing things for exactly what they are, seeing truths and that kind of thing. So I think it's a great place to be in if somebody does come in. So interesting reading here, Taurus. Please surrender to the death energy, clear the slate, because there's lots of things, much bigger and better and exciting and passionate coming in for you. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, it won't be for everyone. Feel free to leave me a comment if you'd like to share how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here next week for another reading.